The test of a good teacher is not how many questions he can ask his pupils that they will answer readily, but how many questions he inspires them to ask and which he finds hard to answer. These are the words of poet Alice Rollins, and I believe that in this age of high-stakes standardized tests, students are missing out on a major aspect of learning: inquiry. It is our job as starting teachers to return the fire into learning by turning to critical thinking, problem solving, and higher level thinking. Standardized curriculums are made to cater towards tests. These classrooms become built around these standards in such a way out of fear: fear of tests, fear of failing as an educator, fear of losing one's job or their entire school. This way of thinking is oftentimes the reasons for cutting off pathways of advancement for students, and I think it's about time all of that changed. I appeal to you. Don't let the alternative teaching methods be pushed onto the back burner. They aren't just theories that someone once proposed or some piece of information in a chapter you once learned. Don't forget them. Study them, work with them, make them your own. I'm not saying that you should start giving these standardized tests the metaphorical or literal bird. Just be conscious of what you're teaching and why. Are you teaching to get a high score, or are you teaching to create those who learn? I'm proposing to you the integration of project-based learning, which is based on a lot of the same principles as guided discovery and inquiry-based learning. So, what is it really? Alright, by definition, project-based learning is a teaching method in which students gain knowledge and skills by working for an extended period of time to investigate and respond to a complex question, problem, or challenge. To further this pretty bare bones technical definition, I'd like to turn your attention to the Buck Institute of Technology's list of essential elements of project-based learning. First, we have significant content. At its core, the project is focused on teaching students important knowledge and skills derived from standards and key concepts at the heart of academic subjects. 21st century competencies. Students build competencies valuable for today's world, as in real life, such as problem solving, critical thinking, collaboration, communication, and creativity or innovation, which are explicitly taught and in-depth inquiry. Students are engaged in extended, rigorous process of asking questions, using resources, and developing answers. The driving question. Project work is focused by an open-ended question that students understand and find intriguing, which captures their task or frames their exploration. This is the general idea that students are working on. Need to know. Students see the need to gain knowledge, understand concepts, and apply skills in order to drive said driving question and create project products beginning with an entry event that generates interest and curiosity. Voice and choice. Students are allowed to make some choices about the products to be created, how they work, and how they will use their time, guided by the teacher and depending on age level and your own PBL experience. Critique and revision. This project includes processes for students to give and receive feedback on the quality of their work, leading them to make revisions or conduct further inquiry. It's a big part of the check of balances system between students and teachers themselves. Public audience. This final one is actually a huge one. Students will present their work to other people beyond their classmates and their teacher. As you can see, there are a few major differences in project-based learning and standard classrooms, even down to the types of projects that they both have. I agree that there are some curriculums that still involve the use of projects, which is great. However, there is a fundamental difference in the level of discovery and information preservation when a child is guided towards discovering their answers rather than just handed them information. So I bet you've been listening to these lists and thinking, well, that's all fine and good for them, but if it's not broke, right, why fix it, right? No. No, 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 no. Strive for something better. Better, you're asking. Yes, better, I say. I would like to turn your attention back to Buck Institute for Education once more, who have done a really great summary of Susie Boss's book, PBL for the 21st Century Success.
Academic achievement. Students learning through PBL retain content longer and have a deeper understanding of what they're learning. In specific content areas, PBL has been shown more effective than traditional methods for teaching math, economics, language, science, and other disciplines. On high stakes tests, PBL students actually perform as well or better than traditionally taught students. College and career readiness. Students demonstrate better problem-solving skills in PBL than in more traditional classes and are able to apply what they learn in real-life situations. When teachers are trained in PBL methods, they devote more class time to teaching 21st century skills. Their students perform at least as well on standardized tests as students engaged in traditional instruction. PBL students also show improved critical thinking. Through PBL experiences, students improve their ability to work collaboratively and resolve conflicts. Opportunities for collaborative learning provide benefits to students across grade levels, academic subjects, and achievement levels. Equity. PBL shows promise as a strategy for closing the achievement gap by engaging lower achieving students. PBL can work in all different types of schools, serving all different types of learners. It's very diverse. PBL can also provide an effective model for whole school reform. Motivation. In PBL classrooms, students demonstrate improved attitudes towards learning. They exhibit more engagement, are more self-reliant, and even have better attendance than in traditional. And last but certainly not least, teacher satisfaction. Though teachers may need time and professional development to become familiar with project-based learning and methods, those who make the shift in their classroom um, report increased job satisfaction overall.
I know that we all have a lot of the same goals. To all of you that are listening that have watched my speech on age differentiation, you know that I have a particular drive to really mussy with standards. But this topic is different in that it is up to each teacher to decide whether they are ready to break standards. You don't need to up and change all of your thinking. You don't need to beg your administrators for a chance, nor try to convince hordes of parents to think, this is a really good idea. This is you. Slow and steady, your change starts here. I really want to end this message here to be one of inspiration to the teachers that are being challenged over their curriculum and all of the requirements that are coming in. I know that there are certain standards that need to be upheld. I know that there are a lot of lessons, lectures, and test prep exercises that are now mandatory. I read your blogs. I'm seeing what you're talking about. I'm trying to talk to different people, and it's crazy. I mean, I'm frustrated hearing about the things that frustrate you. It's ridiculous. However, I know that so many of you are tired of this rote memorization and are really missing out on the joys that made you want to become teachers in the first place. That joy of learning.